Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel and welcome back to another video. So today's video is another Q&A. I went to all of my media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and asked you guys, what do you want to know about us? And you all came through with some questions. So we're going to jump into these questions. But first, if you're new to our channel, hey y'all, how y'all doing? My name's Shakema. I'm a single mom with 4 children. I have 2 girls, 2 boys, 1 fur dog named Gracie. We have a fur grand dog. His name is Acro. We're living our best frugal family life. I'm a student of Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University. My kids and I have been doing Dave Ramsey for about 9 years now, and we are on baby step number 3. So baby step number 1 is saving $1,000 emergency fund. Baby step number 2 is paying off all your consumer debt except for your home. And baby step number 3 is saving 3 to 6 months of expenses in case there were any type of a situation, job loss, illness, anything like that, where your family would not be caught out. And we do frugal budgeting, we do keto lifestyle, we do a little bit of everything. So I just wanted to kind of share with you guys a little bit about our family. I know we have a lot of new subscribers, and I'm very thankful to have you guys along with us. So anywho, sit back, grab your coffee. I've got my coffee, and we're just going to jump into some of these questions. Alrighty, you guys. So I did write these questions down, and I'm going to be referencing the questions. So if I'm looking down, it's just because I'm trying to figure out what y'all asked me. The first question came from my One Mom page, and the question was, have you had a dire financial need and God answered at the last minute, just when you were about to give up? And I could tell stories, but this one particular story does come to mind. I was married at the time. Trandon was a baby. So we didn't have Jackson or Alana at that time. We had Shakema and we had Trandon. We were living in public housing, and my husband was working at the time. I was in school full time, and we were getting financial assistance through food stamps, and our food stamps didn't come. They didn't come, and we didn't know what was wrong. I know I went down and filled out all of the information I was supposed to fill out, and we were down. We had opened up the refrigerator. We had 1 package of meat left, and I was on my way that very day to go to the church. We were living in a different place back then, and I was going to the church to ask them for help. It was the very first time I had ever thought about going to the church to ask for help. And as soon as I was getting ready to get in my car, the mail person came, and we checked, and our food stamps were there. We were so like, oh my God, we are down to our last package of meat. And I just prayed and I said, God, I'm trusting you, because I was going to go to the church and I was going to trust God through the church to get there. And he made that way for our family. Alrighty, you guys. So I just switched places. And so do pardon the background. I am trying to multitask. My kids are at dance practice. I'm at church. And so I just stepped into a different part of the building so that I could get this filmed, because I was not going to film this in my car. Anywho, I got a problem with car vlogs. It's just me, not the people doing it. It's just Shakema. But anyway, so I am trying to multitask and do a couple of things. But I would say that I might always feel like there's a dire need for finances, but God is very faithful and has always been faithful to me. I don't ever have a situation that comes up that God doesn't provide for me. So I've never felt that tightening of my, like, oh God, am I going to have enough? Is there going to be enough? There's never really been. I mean, there may have been. I don't think about it as much now. And that's because God is very consistent with me. Things just show up when I least expect it. Like for the ladies retreat, I have a specific number in mind that I asked God for, and we are almost to that number. But I expected it to come in different ways. I expected it to come in a surprise donation and a thing here. And oh my God, the Lord told me to send you this money. And what has happened is that it's come in through just different means that have all been God. And so I'm thankful that it has happened that way. But I can tell you that God's consistency is for me, that's the one thing about my walk with the Lord is knowing that when man fails me, God never fails me. He is very consistent. He never changes. He does all the things that he says he's going to do, and he always shows up. So I just have that faith to believe that God's going to do. And here's the thing. If he doesn't show up financially, then it's okay. Maybe I didn't need it. Maybe it was something that just we didn't have to have at that moment, and we're going to be okay without it. So we've had many situations that I could tell you, and yeah, that I just believe God. I just trust him. I just know he's faithful. I just trust him for all things. So that's the answer to that. I hope that answered it, because I'm not in that dire situation anymore. One thing that God did do was he blessed my mind to be able to think and to count and to calculate. So when he gave me coupons, that was a blessing to be able to deal with my budget. And it's like, God doesn't just show up and get me out of the hole. He gave me something that helps me not get in the hole. And then he gave me FPU, Financial Peace University, and he helped me to grasp the concept of FPU so that I was able to then be able to budget and manage the resources that he gives me, to steward those resources. And so in that dire situation, it's just not something that happens. Alrighty, you guys, so I am back home now. It was just really loud at the church, and it was not going to work for filming. So I am keeping that first little question that I answered, because I don't think I would remember what I said. And I'm going to pick back up with the questions. So again, I wrote down all the questions that you guys asked me. I do have a question on my computer that I didn't get a chance to write in here. So let me see. The next question that came from my One Mom page is, how did you get your kids on the keto bandwagon? Mine are always still hungry, and I don't want to give them high carbs and high fat. So this is how it works at our house. And again, everybody's household runs differently, but I do not have the budget, nor the mindset, nor the time frame to do multiple things. When I say that, I'm not cooking a meal for me and then cooking a meal for my kids. Everybody eats the same thing. In addition to that, we have been having some health concerns with Alana, and she's been under doctor's care. She goes to a pediatric endocrinologist. She's been going to that doctor for about 2 years now. And so we're trying to regulate some things in her body. We feel like her hormones are out of whack a little bit. And so when I told her what I was doing at home, she was like, no problem, Shakema, that works perfectly for her. I know she is 16 now, so that she's probably about 13 or 14 when she first started going over to see that particular doctor. She does have her regular pediatrician, but she also sees the pediatric endocrinologist. And so we were worried about her having early signs of diabetes, of adult onset diabetes. So we are trying to make sure that we head anything off, and that there's some other things that we're testing her for as well. And we want to make sure that she is as healthy as she can be. So again, with that being said, and with her doctor, her pediatric doctor, knowing what I was doing at home and how I was working for my health goals and weight goals, we decided that it would be okay for her. And then of course Jackson just kind of get lumped into the bunch. I do allow him a few extra carbs, like I'll buy him pretzels. I don't buy chips, but he does like pretzels filled with peanut butter, and he rarely asks me for anything. So I've always thought, hey, I'll just get him a little something. But I say all that to then say, I wouldn't be remiss as a parent to get my health in order and forget my kids' health. If I know that carbs are my issue, carbs are going to be their issue. And so as they grow, they're going to have issues with maintaining or eating healthy, balanced meals. So I can't be on keto and leave them to, be on whatever else plan. So I just keep that in my home, and these are the meals that we have. Also, the other thing, when we decided to go keto, I had a lot of coupon stuff. I mean, you guys, if you follow me for years, I've coupon. And I thought, okay, this is going to be great. We'll just use up the things we have. We'll ease our way into keto and it'll be great. Well, no such luck. I ended up having to totally gut out my kitchen, meaning everything that was a carb or high carb or white refined, processed, whatever, I had to end up taking it out of the house because we were never going to get on the right track if I didn't. Now, I will say this. The only time that I have actually allowed non-keto things in the house was for Alana's birthday social. That was the first time that we had regular ice cream back in the house. And then all those snacks y'all saw, we don't even buy that stuff because it doesn't do well for us and our family. If it's here, somebody's going to eat it. Now, I didn't have any of the treats that the kids had. You know, I stuck to my goals. However, I didn't want that temptation around because I could be in a weak moment. I could have an emotional situation. I don't cycle anymore, but my body still feels like it cycles. And then chocolate, and I'm like, okay, let me eat that. So I just don't keep it in the house. The next day after her birthday, we knew we had youth group. So we took all of the things, the ice cream we took the whole bucket. We put it in a cooler. We took the whole bucket. All the bag of candies that were left, and we took it to youth group and we blessed those people with it. I just don't keep things here that I know are not on the program or the plan. And I don't give my kids an option. That my parenting style is not optionary. I don't give options. Very rare do I own anything, but that's okay because right now they are not old enough to make their choices and decisions. When they become adults, they can do whatever they want. In their home, they can do whatever they want. In this home, they do what my parenting decision is. And so that's how I work it. And that's not everybody. So, you know, I'm not throwing shade at anybody's parenting. If what you do and allow, perfect. What I do and allow, perfect. What in your opinion is the biggest misconception about Christians that people believe? This also came from my One Mom page. And I had this great answer all planned and I couldn't remember what it was. And I'm like, Lord, why can't I remember? He's like, I don't know why, but I think the biggest misconception is that somebody else is feeding us a line, you know, like it's really not real, or we're really not real people, or my salvation is not real. It's just based off of a man-made religion. I had somebody tell me that this week. Man made this religion and, you know, you just believe in whatever they tell you. Well, that's not true. I am telling you that my belief system comes from knowing God, not just knowing about him. God has truly come into my heart and touched my life. I have had the physical manifestations of the promises of God show up at my house, show up in my life. Where I am now, what you see now, and I tell my ladies group this all the time, I said, if you had known me 10 years from now, you would be like, who are you and where is Shakema? I mean, I had rage. I suffered from rage, not anger, rage. And the Lord instantly delivered me from rage when I prayed for it. I struggled with not having my husband in this home, and God has delivered me from that. I struggled with people pleasing, and God has delivered me from that. He has caused me to grow in different ways that I can't even explain. So it's not anybody man-made anything. God really and truly 100% does love me, and he does 100% truly does want the best for me. The Bible says every good and perfect gift come from the Lord. And I'm telling you, everything I have in this house, in my life, has come from the Lord. So it's not made up. It's not in my mind. It's not in my head. It's my life. It's what I do and how I live. Then people will say, well, I can do what I want to do and God's going to give me grace. He will extend grace to a certain amount. However, there are consequences for every choice we make. All of us, Christians, non-Christians, all of us, whatever choice we make, we may not reap that benefit of those seeds we sow at that moment, but they are coming back at some point. You will reap a harvest on every decision, and I'm finding that out more and more and more as I grow and mature in the Lord. You're just gonna, it is a principle. It is something that is an exchange. You sow it and you reap it. You plant it, you harvest. It's going to be there. Is God still gracious in all of it? Yes. It's David prayed in Psalm 23. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. I might go through some shadowy times. I might go through some valleys, but God is still with me. But the valleys only come because I sowed seeds at some point, and now I'm reaping that harvest. Whatever it is, sin, omission, commission, whatever. If I did something that wasn't pleasing to the Lord, and there is grace, God loves me. He sent his son to die for me. Same for you. But there are also natural consequences to all of our natural decisions. So be prepared for those types of things. Biggest misconception about Christians, I don't know, that we're not real, that we somehow making it up. I tell you out of the depths of my experience. When I tell you that after my ex-husband left me, I cried for 364 days. I cried 364 days. But on the I cried for 365 days. Let me get that right. But on the 366th day, after that first full year he was gone, the Lord showed me through the bright sun coming into my kitchen, into my living room window. We were living in a different place at the time. And I opened up the blinds, and the sun was shining in so brightly, and I knew it was God's promise that it's all going to be okay, Shakema. It's going to be okay. Don't you worry. It doesn't look like it right now. It doesn't feel like it right now. You're struggling. You got these kids. You're trying to figure life out. It is all going to be okay. So, you know, that it's made up, man-made, that it's not real, that I think is the biggest misconception. Or people will say, we're too saved or super saved. What is such a thing? I just believe God and trust him and love him with all my heart. And the things I do is not because somebody told me I should. It's because I believe that my relationship with God is based on me and him. And the things I do are to honor him and glorify him and bring glory to his name and let people know what he has done for me. So it all works out. Whatever your experiences are with God are your experiences. But I would dare you to try him, really try. You do your part, because again, he's done everything, but you do your part. Well, it's too hard. It's too hard to, that's a big misconception. It's too hard to live for God. It is the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. He has really no expectation for me. Neither did he give me any rules or anything like that. He did something for me, and I can accept it or not. He gave everything, and I can accept it or not. He paid it all, and I can accept it or not. So that probably is it. It's too hard. This is the easiest thing I've ever done in my whole entire life, is to live for God, trust him, believe him, take him at his word. Okay, so this question came from Instagram. What are some of your long-term plans that you have for your house and your yard, and how do you budget for them? So since I have found you guys sinking funds, I mean, it's a game changer for Shakema. I will be sinking funds all over the place. As soon as I have enough funds to sink, they will be sank somewhere. So here's how it's going to work for me. I do want to totally get the front yard, the front where we have some shrubs planted out there. And I like having the shrubs because they're low maintenance. But I do want to get that front part dug out again and make sure that the it's carved out with a good edging. And then I want to have down the side of the driveway edged out and put in some low maintenance plants that do shade and sun, because we get that in the front yard. And then do all the mulching. So I do want to do that in the front yard. And then in the backyard, I actually want to have some pavers laid down so that we can put our grill out there, maybe a patio set. And I want to have a pergola built with like some shears and stuff like that. I want to put my grill in the back, and I want to build a fire pit. So those are just a few things. I do want to get the house power washed and pressure washed this year, spring. So I will be getting to start planning for that. I do have a friend. He just started a business on Facebook. It's called Bloomers, Bloomers, where he does like yard landscaping, architecture, that kind of thing. So I have been chatting with him to see what prices are, and I'm hoping to get a quote really soon so that I can plan for some of those types of things. If I have to do anything at the moment before I do the yard, I would really like to get the carpets pulled up in the kids' bedrooms and the main living room, because again, for us with the allergies, it is just one of those things that has been a challenge for us. So that would be my main thing before I spend a lot of money doing anything else. I would really love to just get the carpets pulled up and put down some laminate, dog-friendly floors in here. So sinking funds, just sink it away as best as we can till we get it how we want it. What is your biggest win for your faith journey so far? And I guess that question kind of went with the other question, like, what is my biggest win? It's just believing God. Accepting the fact that he accepts me as I am. He doesn't ask me anything to change. He doesn't say, get straight and then come to me and let me accept you then. He accepts me as I am. He says, come as you are. Broken, busted, disgusted, down on your luck, out there doing all kinds of things that maybe you shouldn't do. And he just accepted me. He accepted me as a divorcee, which most people think if you're divorced, you have like a disease. He accepted me as a single woman. He accepts me as a black woman. He accepts me as a woman with children. He accepts me as a young professional. I mean, he just accepts me with all of my flaws and things I still don't know. And, you know, not only did he accept me, but he called me in to be his own. He called me in and he says, this is my child in whom I am well pleased. He calls me beloved. He allows me to lean my head on his chest when I am in that place of just needing to be loved on by the Father. And he just lets me lay my head there and he comforts me in all things. And then on top of that, he has called me into the ministry. He has called me to share the good news. He's called all of us into the ministry. But there's a fivefold that's in Ephesians that talks about the fivefold. Ephesians 4:11, I believe it is. But he calls some to be evangelists, pastors, teachers, prophets, and pastors. He's called me into what I believe is evangelism / pastor. I still believe that I'm a first lady. I just haven't found the pastor yet that wants to marry me. I do believe that with my whole heart, that I am called to connect with someone's ministry and to help them do the work that God has called them to do as I do my own ministry. But that's been my greatest win, that God, I'm from nowhere, abused as a child, pregnant as a teen, married and divorced, raising these kids, and he still wants to use me, and he still wants to send me and grow me and teach me and all the things. So biggest win for me, that God saw something that I don't always see in myself. And I have been looking in the mirror and going, what, God, why? And then that's even a win, is not to question his choices. He picked me. That's it. You are enough. You are loved. You are it. I want you. Even when you don't feel like you're the right thing or the best thing, I still want you. So there it is. What would your today self tell your past self? Pretty much that it's going to be okay, that you're going to encounter and face some hard times and hardships, things you didn't plan on, things you didn't sign up for. You didn't even ask for these types of things to happen, but it happened. And guess what? It's still okay. It's going to be okay. God still loves you. He's still going to use you. You're not damaged. You're not used up. You're not thrown away. God was really just getting you by yourself so that you could really lean and depend and trust on him. So don't you worry. It's going to be okay. Can't tell you the time, the day, the hour, but I can tell you that it's going to be okay. It's going to be well with your soul. Like that's my big thing for this. It's well with my soul. It's well. Everything may not be perfect 100%, but it is well with my soul. Inside of who I am and the things that he's allowing me to do, and what my children and I are experiencing right now is so different than when I had my older children with me. And so it is like having two separate lives. I mean, honestly, it's like having older children and younger children and being different here than I was here. And God is just gracious. He is gracious to me. He loves me. He cares for me. And I'm very thankful for that. But again, it's going to be okay. You don't know when, but God knows when. You don't know how, but God knows how. You may not see it, but God sees it. So just keep on trusting, keep on living, keep on loving him, and it's all going to be okay. How is homeschooling going? Any struggles or setbacks? What are your summer plans? How do you, plan to keep the kids busy? This all seems to be the same for me. Homeschooling is going very well. We made a change in our homeschool this year for both of the kids. So last year when Alana started high school, she was in 9th grade, I put her on a 4x4 schedule, meaning she would have 4 classes and then she would have 4 classes in the spring. So 4 in the fall, 4 in the spring, just because I used to be a high school teacher and we were on a 4x4 block. Before, she would have all 5 of her core subjects all year long. And that tended to be a challenge for her because math was not her strongest suit. So she would have math all year long and she would hate it. And she just got to a point, this was when she was in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. She would just have math all year long, and she would get so frustrated. So I said, okay, let's do math. Let's do the harder things first in the fall. That way, when we get towards the spring and we're starting to gear up and ramp up for summer, we're on a downswing. Things are not so difficult or challenging. So we did that with Alana in 9th grade. Well, I did it with her again in 10th grade, but I also put Jackson on a 4x4. So he actually only has 5 classes, but we did 3 classes and then 2 classes, and then any supplemental things would be added in. So it's going well for us. We're not traditional homeschoolers in the fact that mom is home. And so I am not home, because I know one of the other questions was, how do you homeschool and work full time? Well, I do what I have to do. We utilize our resources as best we can. When we very first started homeschooling, we swapped out. I paid a friend of mine to keep my kids during the day while I was at school, because they were very young when we first started homeschooling. Alana was 10 or 11. And so she was 10 when we first started. They needed that care. And now, we're just in a different stage of life. So what happens is, in the state of North Carolina, we don't have, you have to homeschool for these many hours a day or these many days a week. We have attendance records, mandatory attendance. They have to attend school 180 days. And so, but I could homeschool on a Saturday. If a Wednesday doesn't work out for us and we have things or doctor's appointments, and sometimes she's got an appointment, I've got an appointment, Jackson has an appointment, I can school on a Saturday and still check off my attendance that they went on Saturday, and it all works out. The one little struggle or setback that we had was I had planned for the kids to do piano this year, and we have not had a chance. And that's partly because by the time I work and they have school all day, when I get home, because I work so far, then we're leaving for Taekwondo and we're out hours every day. So because summer is coming, I'm going to push their piano to summer, where we're usually home most of the daytime in the summertime, and they can actually do piano during the summer. So I'm just going to not put that pressure on myself to try to get it done right now. I do have a friend that has agreed or offered to give them some lessons via like Facebook Messenger or Skype, or, we can do that because she is a piano teacher. So that helps. My sister does piano, so that could be a resource for us. I've also begun to find outside resources. Like all last year, I was trying to find stuff for Alana with her theater, and I couldn't find anything. Curriculum online is just really hard to find. So we have a local, it's not in our town where we live, we have to drive to it, but it's local, community theater, and they offer classes. And so they were having a spring academy, and I was able to get her into the spring academy. Now, with that being said, because the kids do Taekwondo 4 days a week, they only had one day that she could go. And even though they have 2 locations, we only had one day that wasn't a Taekwondo day, and that's our Monday night, which is homeschool. And so they had a class, but she didn't meet the age category. It was 7 to 12. And so I called and I said, listen, this is our situation. This is why I need this class. Can she take the class? And it's called Triple Threat. It's singing, acting, and dancing. They do practice all those skills in that class. And they said, yes, ma'am, we understand, no problem. She is well, as long as she's okay with being with the younger kids, we don't have a problem with it. So she started that class, and she is kind of like an assistant in there. Even though she does have to learn her stuff, she still helps out with the younger kids, which works for her because she helps out in the nursery at church and with the younger kids classes. And so in that aspect of homeschooling, we're using that academy is 10 weeks, which a normal a normal high school class is 18 weeks. So I'm going to try to find a tack on for the summer, and that will be her theater credit. So I'm farming out and outsourcing the things I cannot do or teach, because that's just where we are. Does that cost me a little bit of money? Sure. But the older kids sent a little for her birthday, and mom chipped in some, and we were able to get the class like that. So everybody paid a little bit of something for her birthday present, and the classes started in February. The first Monday night in February was the first class, so they'll go all the way through April. They'll do their showcase, and then of course we'll have, find a summer something that she can do with acting or theater, and that will of course be her, pathway, or we'll put that in for her transcript. So that'll work for us. Summer plans, again, just doing stuff with the kids. I do want to do a deep clean in my house during the summer. So I'm going to do the 14-week home organization challenge. I won't get all 14 weeks in the summer, but I do plan to do some deep cleaning in my home during the summer months. Also, I'm going to do a clean out, declutter, pass some things along to different ones. But if you've been joining the ladies meetings, if you've ever joined the ladies meetings, we have several women that have been with us for at least a year, more than that. So I am taking a road trip, and I'm going to go around and meet all of the ladies that are on my call line. I may not get them all during the summer, but I'm going to get quite a few of them. I actually have one that's coming to the women's retreat. So that's going to be fun. And then we have to be in Georgia in September for a martial arts competition. So I'm going to stop off. I'm going to plan an extra day and stop off to see another one of our friends. We actually have 3 ladies in Georgia. So I'm going to try to do a little hop around to see if I can see everybody, or if we can all meet in a location that's convenient for everybody. So we will see, but that was my plan last summer. And then of course Beauty came to live with us, and she was ill, and we were unable to do any of the things. I do want to also focus on my health and make sure the kids and I are just getting out and moving and walking, and we have the dog, and we want her to be well and walked and very exercised. So that's going to be kind of our summer. We're going to have a lazy summer, but we're going to do some things as well. Any new keto recipes? Not at the moment. I don't have anything new, but I am kind of working on that keto French toast. So I haven't perfected it yet. I'm working on it. And hopefully that will be coming out really soon, where I'll be able to share with you. It then says, are you on track with your summer groceries? So here's what I'm thinking. I have enough for 2 grocery cards right now. So that is 2 weeks for $50. And then I'll get paid at the end of February, the end of March, the end of April, and the end of May. And I'm going to take $50 off of each of those. So that'll give me 6. And then I'm going to, then I only have 4 more weeks to plan for. So I was going to go back and to look at my other videos for the summer to see if I had any money for the summer. I think I had about $100, which that'll give me 4 more gift cards. So if I keep on track like I am now, I should be able to have 10 full gift cards for summer groceries and have met that $500 goal. So that's my plan. All right, just a couple more questions, not many more. And I think I answered the one about homeschool. This question came off the community tab. It says, with your busy days, I know God keeps you going. What else, if anything, keeps you energized throughout your day? I will honestly 100% say it was changing my eating, changing my diet plan for my body structure. And again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not giving health advice. I'm not telling you what to do. I've always said this: if you changing things, make sure your doctor is okay with the changes. So I actually go to the doctor on the 21st, and I'll have blood work and stuff done, and she'll just check me over to see how things are going. But when I changed my eating habits from eating whatever I wanted to eating mainly ketogenic, because I'm like I'm a lazy keto. I don't track and I don't use all 100% pure ingredients because my budget is not set up for that. So I use the best I can. Like Dr. Berry says, if all you have is hot dogs, eat your hot dogs. I'm going to do the best I can with my $50, $60, $75 budget. So that's what I do. And but when I changed my eating, it was almost immediately. I would say within the first week of being ketogenic or eating ketogenically, my body felt good. And as much as I go, I honestly have not had that exhaustion or that tired sometimes, and I'm sleepy. Like if it's been a full day and I've been out 12, 14, 16 hours, I'm ready to go to bed. But I'm not exhausted or tired. My legs that used to bother me quite a lot, they don't bother me like that anymore. So it's all good. It was changing my habits. It was changing my eating. And again, if you don't go keto or Weight Watchers, I mean, whatever you do, make one change. Don't drink soda, drink more water, or drink 1 soda less. You know, sometimes people have to take baby steps. But for me, it was totally changing my eating. And that is what I feel really good all the time. Now that your beautiful girl is 16, this is the last question from the community tab. What are her plans when she finishes high school? So I honestly think Alana's going to take a gap year. I do believe that she will take a full year off from school. She has not always enjoyed it. And I don't think she actually knows what she wants to do right now. And that's perfectly fine. We will look for a job that's local to where we live and she can get some working skills. She does love kids quite a lot, so maybe she can do early childhood. We have a community college program that will allow her to do that. And it is actually, as I'm going to work, it is in that direction. So I'll be able to drop her and pick her up on the way back. But for the first year, she will take a gap year. Now, honestly, none of my children have went to college right out of high school. My son went straight to work, and then Shamika went to the military, and then she took some time off to find herself, and then she ended up going back to college. She was an older adult student. She was 24 years old when she went back to college, when she went to college. So Trandon is going to be 24, and he is yet to go to college, but he's working and he's doing very well at his job. And so that is just how it works out. So for her to take a gap year is perfectly fine. She won't be like the other kids who are ready to leave home. I believe she'll just stay for a while and get herself together and figure things out. We want her to be on a good, Dave Ramsey budgeting, saving all the monies and figuring that part out before she makes that jump to move. And if she wants to go at 18, that's perfectly fine. She will be full-grown adult to do what she wants. But we are working with her now on all the skills that she will need for that future life. So definitely won't go right to college after, and I don't think a year is bad. I think she'll be okay to really see if she really wants to work, or does she want to go to school, or maybe she wants to go part-time, or maybe she doesn't like going to the facility, she wants to go online. But we have options. Those options are open to her. And then of course I'll have Jack, and he'll be, pretty much going into his high school years, and we'll be done with homeschool before too long. So I'm excited about the next couple of years. There's way more coming than what we have ever thought about or dreamed about. So yeah, I have one final question. I do want to answer that. This one came from an email. So let me see. There's an individual who loves the Lord, but as a single mom is very lonely. So this asks me, how do I cope with loneliness? How do I deal with loneliness? So there's a difference in being alone and loneliness, and I have dealt with both. When I say I'm alone, it means nobody else is here, or nobody my age I have to talk to. And being lonely means I don't feel like anybody wants to be with me. And I've been in both of those situations. So what I had to do was I had to find my purpose. What is it that you're wanting me to do, God? What is it that's going to fill my time, that is going to give me less time to focus on how lonely I am, or how not a part of the group I am? And when my kids were younger, it was very challenging because my life surrounded around my kids. As my kids get older, and now as I'm able to even drop them off at Taekwondo, I can go and do something for Shakema. Even if that, and this is crazy, even if that's going to the grocery store by myself, even if that is going to the gym by myself, even if it's the library by myself, even if I'm sitting in my car outside of Taekwondo taking a nap by myself, I'm doing good. So as my kids grow and have grown older, I have begun to really try to figure out what is it that God wants from me. And so really that's when I think the whole First Love Ministries was birthed. It was, okay, Shakema, you're used to taking care of people. Your kids are going to grow up and not need you anymore. Who are you going to take care of? And God was so gracious, and he blessed me with the ladies from the ladies group. And we meet every Monday night. Not in person, we all meet on the phone, but we're encouraging each other and we're helping each other out. And then because some of us are meeting on the phone, we said, hey, let's get together and chat. So some of us on a chat group, and we're just, chatting with one another, and I'm having this struggle. Can you pray for me? Hey, I'm praying for you. Or, hey, happy Palentine's. That was the text message we got yesterday from Miss Joe for all the other ladies. We're my pals. I'm not your Valentine. I'm your Palentine. Find things that you like. In this season of my life, I am discovering me, who I am, what I like, what makes me tick. And I'm finding my group. I'm finding the group of people that I can mesh with, and the group of people that encourage me and help to edify and lift up who I am and encourage me in my journey. I have had a lot of days of loneliness, but loneliness will make you go down a path that maybe is not the most beneficial. I always have to think about it. Again, if I make this choice, there's a consequence for that choice. So maybe that's not the right choice for me. So I found ways to busy myself. I found things to do. And people say to me, Shakema, you always so busy. But before I was busy, I was lonely. And I would sit in my house and cry, and I would look at people post on Facebook, me and Barbara went out to the movies, or hey, me and Brenda went to eat out or dinner. And I'm like, well, why didn't they invite me? Because you weren't supposed to be a part of that group. That's okay. Where do you fit? Where do you fit? And here's the thing. You might fit in multiple areas. So I was talking with one of the girls at church earlier, and I said, God really delivered me from friend envy. Like, I would see a couple of my friends and they would go out and do something and they wouldn't include me. And I would feel so bad. Like, what did I do? Did I say something wrong? Did I get on somebody's nerves? Did I tick them off? Or, what did I do that they did not want to be with me? And it didn't have anything to do with that. It was just that they had mutual interest that I didn't have any interest in. So they were getting together with the people that had mutual interest for them. Here's my testimony. My kids are 10, about to be 11, 16, 23, about to be 24, and 29, about to be 30. I don't hang out with people with little babies. Now, that doesn't mean I won't come to your house and hold your baby. I will hold your baby. I will rock your baby. I will shake your baby. I will do all the things. But when you're doing mommy and me groups, Shakema's not on your group list because I don't have little kids like that. Could I still come and add value to it? Absolutely. But you have to find the people that fit where you are right now. Most of the people, moms that I hang out with, they're not my church group. And people are like, oh my God, they're not the church group. They're not. Because all of those ladies have little kids. I hang out with the Taekwondo moms because all their kids are my kids' age. And we're all on the team together. Now, that doesn't mean that we're BFFs. My church family and my, those are my people I go to for my spiritual things. But we're doing things outside of that. So those are the moms that I go to. If I'm going to be late for Taekwondo, I call the Taekwondo mom. Hey, we're on our way. Or, just where am I at in that moment? I have some friends that are married, some that aren't married, but I don't get connected in that marriage stuff. I'm not married right now. Can I say something about marriage? Sure, I've been married before. But most of my friends, if they're married, I am friends with the wife. And I'm okay with that. Doesn't mean I'm not cordial with the husband. Hey, husband, how are you? But that's not my group, because then I'm in a group of all the couples and I'm feeling like, oh, well, I don't have nobody. Now I'm feeling some type of way. So I just hang out with the women and the women's things, and we do those types of, girl get-togethers and whatevers, and we have our best time. But then I also find areas where I can be useful. Where can I be useful? How can I be helpful? That's when the women's retreat started coming along, and the Facebook lives and teaching online, and hey, let's get into this budget really good because I want y'all to do good like I'm doing. Come on, y'all, we can do this together. So you have to find your niche group. Where is it that you're going to receive your encouragement? Where is it that you're going to receive your attaboys? Where is it that you're going to have people that really say, look, you have been in this stupor long enough, girl. Let's come on out, sis. Okay, Lazarus, come forth. Sometimes we need to go to that place and just have that, but you need somebody that's pulling you out and saying, girl, listen, it's okay. It's all right not to be a part of this or be a part of that. What is your thing? Find your thing. And then you find yourself being less and less lonely and more selective. What is it that I want to do? Because sometimes loneliness can push us to do a whole lot of everything, and then you're busy for everybody. One of the best books we read in the ladies group was called The Best Yes, and that's by Lisa Turkhurst. The Best Yes. I can do a lot of things, but there are so many things that are not my yes, it's somebody else's yes. And I have filled it in. I have been that person. I have jumped in and done all the things, but it's because something was missing in me. I didn't have my piece together. And so I want to have my piece together and not do everything, because then I'm wearing myself out, wasting all my time, still feeling some type of way. I have to find the things that best fit Shakema. So there it is. Those were all the questions. I really hope that you got something from this. I hope that I was able to encourage someone and help you to really just get to know me a little bit more, get to know our family a little bit more. Thank you so much if you submitted a question. If you're new around here, we are so very glad to have you. Thank you for coming into our kitchen. All we need is a little bit of coffee and a little bit of Jesus, and we're going to be all right. So we're excited to bring more content to you guys as 2020 moves along. We do want to ask you, if you've enjoyed our video, to make sure and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that little bell so you never miss an upload from us. Thank you again so much for stopping by our channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.